Hey everyone, welcome to my Tarot and Chill number 5. I know I spoke on the last Tarot and Chill where it was like maybe I should chill out via talking. Wait until everybody's in the room, but you know, I do save these streams, and just in case anyone watches back, yeah, I want to be able to catch a vibe from the minute this starts recording. So, hi, welcome. I hope that you are doing okay. I am feeling exhausted right now, honestly. I was also considering starting a space, like a Twitter space, X space, but I don't know. I don't know if I want to do that today. I think I'll try that for another day. But anyway, yeah, I'm really exhausted. Today has been really, really energetically intense for me. I spoke about it a bit on Twitter, mentioning that I got a really weird, like, live experience. Hold on, baby, I just started recording. I had a really, what do I call it? Apparition-y experience today, where I saw someone who reminded me intensely of my son's father, who, for context, is no longer with us. So seeing his energy in a person like that, in person, like in front of my face, was very jarring. And at first I caught this person, I saw this man, and I just kept following him around, not understanding why it is that I'm so enamored by him. And then after putting two and two, observing him in the way that he spoke, in the way that he looked at people when he spoke, after I clocked it, I felt totally winded. And by the end of my gym session, I went and I cried and I cried and I cried. I cried. So it's been a lot for me. And again, as I mentioned via Twitter, I woke up today feeling really moody, grumpy, just like really out of sorts. So I'm wondering how good of an idea this is to be doing right now, because my energy is really not up to par. However, I just felt drawn to tune in, and this reading wasn't actually going to be like this. It wasn't going to be a Tarot and Chill. At first, I thought I could work with the beyond the veil energy that I've been feeling has been present today. For me, this is normally what I take from feeling like moody or like I'm unsettled spiritually. I always take it as, okay, the veil is thin, energy sensitive, something's up, need to make sure that I'm spiritually grounded or whatever. So I took that as inspiration, thinking that I would do a reading, like a beyond the veil reading, but I've actually never tapped into dead spirits like that for communication. I've only, for me as the mouthpiece, I've never done that before. I've only tapped into spirits beyond the veil for them to communicate directly to me. And even then, I already know that there's some information that I'm not ready to take in. So I already have a wall with that. I don't think that I am at all ready to do a beyond the veil type reading. Although I do think that that will be my line of work, that will be important for me to explore at some point, because me and death is my twin. Where have you been? So I know eventually I will have to work with death intimately in that way. But not now. Not today. So that's what has brought me here. Again, going into this very blindly. Don't know how many people are going to tune in. I'm not really expecting much engagement, especially since on an energetic level, I'm really exhausted. But I figured that since I promised that I would do this, that I should just stick to it. And also vibe out. It always gives me a chance as well to play Sal Mariope's stuff, which is the only playlist I've been playing since I started this, by the way. It's all from his channel that he created and the DJs that he features. Today's feature is who I think one of the coolest DJs in South Africa. In Africa. But that would be me speaking out of turn. I'm not aware enough about DJs in Africa. But I do think that Mamthag, who is today's feature, who is the person that's curated this playlist, is one of the coolest people alive. And her ear for tunes is incredible. And she has such range. So you should tune into that. I've definitely linked this playlist in the description so you can jam to it yourself. And yeah. If you have any questions, or maybe even any comments on how this has been, how this week has been, I think that would be welcomed as well. Just anything, really. The energy that I'm sitting in right now, and with the occurrence that brought me to this energy, yeah, it was very close to pulling me into a victim mode and into into just a real low and a sadness that I already read for in the beginning of the week. And in tapping back into that energy that I gave, I definitely feel inspired in remembering how shouty and loud I was about the fact that we cannot go back. We cannot go back to victimhood. We can't go back to like blaming and to feeling like woe is me. We're all in the shits right now. All of us, even the richest person you know who you think has no problems at all, they've got their fucking problems. And we're all processing a lot. So we mustn't ever think that, we mustn't ever feel like a victim or think that we're bad luck, bad karma, etc. Plus, I think while we're all talking about how intense it is that we all have access to the internet and all that shit, it's actually been really useful. Sorry, I've just adjusted the sound. It's actually been really useful in remembering that we can do whatever the fuck we want and that life isn't that serious. It's intense, but it's not that serious, and you don't have to take it so seriously that you refuse to play with your life, refuse to play with your manifestation, your ability to bring forth things. There's so many options, so many things you can do with your life. It doesn't have to be one way for everyone. And that's actually something I said. That's an energy I touched on in this week's weekly reading, which, as I'm mentioning it, I should link in the description of this live stream. I'm really glad Mamthag featured this song. It's so good. I'm hoping to really model how uncomplicated these things have to be, or can be rather, sorry. I'm hoping to model how we don't have to think too much about doing this. Like if starting a YouTube channel or doing live readings or whatever is something that you're interested in, or even if you feel called to do something where we're doing the work depends on how many eyes you can attract to come see your work, where it's audience dependent, traction dependent on interactions or whatever. I'm hoping to model to even myself that none of this shit has to be a big deal. Of course I can. Hey, Synthesized Souls. Please ask your question, or do you just want me to pull a general card for you? Welcome. Thank you for being here. I was saying, I wanted to finish the thought of how it doesn't have to be a big deal. It doesn't matter how many people are in the room or how many people are watching. I'm learning this frequency myself as I'm doing these tarot and chills and getting into YouTube tarot reading, that it doesn't matter who's watching, who isn't, as long as it is that you're doing something that you enjoy, and you can feel yourself being true to yourself. That's very important, or at least being true to what your intention is, because some people, when they dive into something that requires a performance, sometimes they're actively not being true to themselves. They're literally putting on another they're putting on a mask or a facade or whatever. As long as whatever you're doing is true to your intention, true to what you want to do, you know? Sorry, I'm seeing a notification here from YouTube. It's probably shouting at me for playing, what's this thing? For playing copyrighted music. Oh, never mind. Whatever. I hope you can still hear me, Synthesized Souls. It's telling me that my data, I'm having a connectivity issue. So I hope that I can still be heard. I just want to make sure. Sorry. Before I get around to pulling your card for you. Okay, I see. Streaming is not smooth. Thank you, though. Thank you for your response. About Korean love, anything changing soon? That's interesting. Every time people come and ask me a question, or they ask me to pull cards for them, there's always a time issue. There feels to be a general sense of intense urgency with a whole lot of us, and I just want to remind us all that everything is happening, everything is going to happen in due time. And especially with this month, with the amount of retrogrades and planetary transitions that are happening, I think we can just let go of time altogether, let go of the sense of urgency that we may have over things happening or changing or whatever, and just trust that they're going to. Trust that like things are going down on levels unseen and unbeknownst to you, especially this month with, as I said, everything that's going on intensely. Yes, divine timing, exactly, which I can understand is very hard to hold on to. I get it. I'm also in that space as well. But I think that I'd like to welcome us all to do some astrological research on what this month is bringing, because there's a lot going down. And I think if we all got into just seeing it, researching it, and not just for this month, for these next few years up until apparently 2030 or 2027, around there, lots of global change is happening, collective change. We are shifting energetically. There's apparently predicted to be some alien reveal that's going to happen by 2027. Like, a lot is going down. A lot is happening. So please try not to put so much pressure on the timing of things. Everything you want is going to come to you anyway. Everything. It's just a matter of you deciding how ready you are for those things. But anyway, thank you for letting me ramble. I'm going to pull some cards for you, Synthesized Souls, about career and love. I'll start with career first. So career-wise, you received the wheel in reverse and the 9 of discs in reverse. I'm going to pull an extra card for clarification so I can ground all of this energy together, because off the bat, it's giving... I'm receiving that you're... These cards are giving me the message of the fact that you're not following a calling that you're supposed to. It feels like you're focusing too much on one way of your career turning out, and you're not answering the call of living, of this card upright, of living, of following a path that is fulfilling for you, right? It's like you're thinking too, it's like, this is an example. It's like you're trying to focus on career in terms of how much money it can get you, or how rich you can be, or what the most what the most lucrative path would be, and not what will be the most fulfilling, period. I'm getting the sense that I hope that, or that the answer for your career move, or how soon it can come, is likely to come when you can let go of the material and focus purely on the spirit, on the energy and the enjoyment of what you want to do with your life every day. But anyway, let me pull a card and see. Maybe that energy is going to come together with this final card that comes. And then I see the 3 of Swords. So now with all of these cards falling out, I'm actually receiving the possibility that that there's something combined about your career and your love life. There's something related between your material world and, like a heart thing. Okay, something about your heart. Have you been doing heart chakra work lately, or have you been feeling yeah, it feels like there's something there's still something painful that needs to be released in your heart space karmically, that's affecting both your career and your love life. Okay, that's a very long time to be in hermit mode. An 8. Interesting. I've experienced when I'm in hermit mode that normally the cycle goes in 3s, 3 years or 6 years. Oh, that's brilliant. Congratulations on that. I'd love to check your novel out. Can you let me know more about it, or where I can find it and read it? Oh yes, and via the hermit mode. It's interesting that yours took 8 years to experience. I've never heard of somebody going into hermit mode for 8 years. For me, I've perceived it as it being a 6-year cycle, or like a 7-year cycle. Interesting. All of these cards falling out, I don't know if maybe there's still some residue of that in your energy field. Oh, but also, like I said, this month with all of the retrogrades that are happening right now, there may be like a final closing of that. So I think I get the sense that, okay, if we're talking when, I get the sense that the answers, there will be a lot more clarity on when everything will start moving again after this month. And maybe even around the 8 August, around the change of seasons. It's good that you're no longer waiting. I can understand how... I know that frequency. I know the feeling of waiting for an apology that will never come, waiting for accountability to be taken for something that will never... Or from someone who didn't even realize that they did anything wrong. Yeah, I think a lot of things are going to change for the whole lot of us collectively come August. The 8-8 portal. That specific change of season. And maybe even like moving into next year. But again... Oof, yeah. I don't know if this will be helpful information for you, but I have mentioned in previous readings that... thank you so much. I really appreciate that comment. Thank you. I sometimes worry as I'm reading that I'm not helpful. So I really appreciate that. There's an astrologer named Pam Gregory who said that we are in a period right now where we are going through, she called it a trial run. We're going through like a trial period of what will happen next year when Saturn, because there are so many retrogrades happening between now and the end of the year and into Feb of next year. So we are practicing right now for when all of the energies, for when various major planets settle into their new signs around Feb of next year. So there'll be a lot of revisiting, a lot of uncertainty, a lot of when will this happen? How come it hasn't happened sooner? Why are things taking so long to manifest? We're all in this, I think it's a Bordeaux, just this awkward period of in between the new and still shedding and leaving behind the old. So I hope you can be patient with yourself in your process as you find the answers to all of your questions, even as you tune into other tarot readers looking for answers, pulling cards. I hope you can be patient with the fact that ultimately your answers will come to you in really, really perfect time. God is extremely present right now, even and ironically, especially considering that we may not feel that way. It feels like we feel especially separated from God right now, but we are so close to our divine. That's why I was asking. Okay, cool. Thank you for being... Okay, so let me just get specific then. Okay, you like the manager. Do you like the job itself? But anyway, let me pull again, knowing now what I'm focused on. I see. Sorry, I'm understanding the comment that you just made. That's interesting. Hold on. I've lost the cards now, but okay, so when I sit with it, when I sit with this energy, it feels like you might like the manager because of how something about them reminds you of what you're still trying to clear out energetically. It may be of some like a past lover, like the experience that I had. I was talking about oh, that's awesome. That's really cool. I was talking today about how, early on in this live stream, about how I saw someone today who looked exactly like my child's father who's passed on. And at first I wasn't sure why it is that I was drawn to this person. And after staring at him for a while and observing his energy, I realized that it's because he's got the same mannerisms and general energy of my child's father. So have you looked into the possibility that the reason you like the manager is because maybe not even because they remind you of an ex, possibly because they remind you of they're reflecting some part of yourself. It feels like it feels like the reason you like the manager has something to do with your own self, some part of yourself that's not obvious to you, that may take a little bit of time to like note to settle into. I'm gonna pull another card. Okay, definitely not an X. All right, thank you for that clarification. Interestingly enough, after pulling and shuffling again, you received the Hermit as your top. Yeah, this was the first card that fell out. They fell out in a group, but this is the first one that fell. Similar to the sketch. Soulmate. Interesting. All right, then I'll do that separately. But this is a general. So these cards I pulled for career. And you received the 5 of Discs, the 9 of Swords, the Chariot, and the 2 of Rods. I think with the Hermit with the Hermit present as the first card, it feels like your Hermit phase is still... It feels like it's still calling to you. Or like there's something about the Hermit phase that we're still traversing through, that there's still information that needs to be... It's like your Hermit phase is a being of its own. It's an entity of its own, and it's calling out to you now with more messages. This is career wise. But yeah, I'm fascinated by how connected your love and your career, the frequency of love and career in your life are. You clearly do meditation and are like very aware because of how it feels like you live very much in between worlds. Like a lot of your life is intertwined, so that it's actually very difficult to read for one specific energy unless you ask a direct question. And the 9 of Swords it feels like an extension of the 3 of Swords in terms of like the what can I say? The sorrow, heartbreak. Something about someone who you were together with, or who you thought you were walking beside, someone who you thought was on your team, on your side, supporting you, wanting the best for you, but then like abandoned you, like pulled the rug under your feet and left you without warning, just left you suddenly. Something about that energy. Something about that left you feeling disempowered. And you're going to get your power back. I just don't know I don't know what it's going to look like, or what this plays out as in terms of love or career. Because like I said, it feels like you're a very blended, aware person. So, I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry to know that. It feels like it was very painful. And it left you feeling extremely scorned and like very angry at, or feeling very unsafe in the world. Let me rather say that. But anyway, with the Chariot and the 2 of Swords, the Chariot and the 2 of Rods, You're going to get your power back. Possibly through that. Sorry, through your career. Okay. Because none of these cards are talking or are pointing towards a specifically like new relationship, I don't know that new love is coming. I don't know if that's the focus right now. All of these cards speak of like an individual, like a one person experience. And with these cards, this one person, this individual experience, you'll come out feeling empowered. So that from there you can start thinking about and manifesting a new love. But I think for right now, love shouldn't be the focus. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So underneath the deck, you have the story of the Eight of Swords, which speaks basically of like in this deck speaks of self-work, changing ingrained patterns and programmings, working on yourself. And then you have the Eight of Cups, which is processing more loss. I believe very similar to these two cards coming together here like this, the Hermit and the Nine of Swords. And then underneath all of that, you have the Ten of Cups. So I think that just for now, keep trying to stay focused on yourself and really unpacking and releasing, which I think this month will give you a chance to do. Releasing all of the everything that came with this hermit phase that you were in. Some of that might still revisit, like I said, to give you more gifts of processing and of realizations of freedom. And then you'll be given a chance to enjoy the sense of freedom within yourself, live out your individual story, feel empowered. And then with perfect time, love will come, the perfect one. So I think that soulmate sketch, yeah. Yeah, I think there's a reason that you received it at the time that you did. But I hope you don't let it. Okay. It's interesting that you say that then. Then I hope that... Okay. If you say that you're done, then you're done. Then I suppose... yeah, then I suppose you can enjoy right now in this moment, enjoy being done with it, enjoy yourself and your freedom. Yeah. I think you can take, I'd implore you to take things as slow as you can with this manager that you like, and with anyone that you like, really. Yeah. I hope you can take your time to savor the experience of getting to know new love, getting to know anyone. Okay, would I get the offer interviewed on Friday? Thank you for that question, for the direct question. Not done yet.
Are you almost done?
Almost. So you got the star in reverse. I'm going to read the interpretation of that. It says the inability to see hope in a situation, unresolved pain disguised as arrogance, pessimism, apathy, or hopelessness, resistance to new opportunities or ideas, a need for a new perspective. So I'm receiving no, but not, but particularly because of how. So I know that you say that you are done with that phase, but with this card falling out, with the cards that fell out initially, with I've lost the cards now, but it was what, the 8 of, you had the Hermit, you had the 9 of Swords, you had hold on a second, you had the 3 of Swords, you had the 9 of Discs in reverse. It just feels like there's still something. You say that you're done, but there's something about that that's not done with you. And I think that you need to give yourself more time and move slower. Thank you. The 8 of Swords, the 9 of Swords, the Hermit, the Wheel in reverse. Which also speaks of some, let me touch on the Wheel of reverse so that maybe, so that you can read into the energy yourself, hear the words, and see if anything resonates. The inability to see that events in life are a direct result of your own perception and way of relating to the world. Battling against the current, which is not always a bad thing. Fate seen as malevolent. The inability to learn from mistakes. Irreversible events, apparent hardship, and adversity. I think that there is just, you see, okay. Sorry, I'm mixing energies up. You're trying to sell and move on. And I can't wait anymore. Okay, so that energy there that you have, I can't wait anymore. I understand that, and I really want to give room for that energy in you. It feels very frustrating, and it touches on what I mentioned earlier on in this reading, that we have our own plans as human beings. We have our own intentions, but the universe, the divine source, whatever God you believe in, they have their own plans too, and sometimes their plans must trump yours because your eye view on your life is too narrow and small to understand the bigger picture. So honestly, I feel like you just need to be patient with your process for right now. You can't wait anymore, but it feels like there's, I keep trying to look for the cards and I forget that I've shuffled them. It feels like you're trying to be done with some energy in your life that still has more to teach you. And it feels like you're building a resistance you're building a resistance to being open to that, to being open to the possibility that there's still more to learn from. You've done incredible achievements, writing a novel and being a creative, doing all of these things. They are truly incredible, but it feels like you thought that doing all of that would mean that you're healed and everything's fine, but that's not how it goes, especially with the energy that you had to process, with the intensity of everything that you felt. It won't just take that. Sorry, 8 years of teaching. Can you expand? What are you asking there? Carrie, hey, I've seen your question. And I actually, without even pulling cards, I felt into the energy that you need to be careful about jumping straight into the possibility of reconciliation. I know that I remember pulling cards for you and this relationship. Sorry, now I'm jumping energies. Let me just finish the line of thought I had with Carrie. Carrie, I remember pulling cards and saying that there wasn't a possibility of not reconciling. However, there's still some work, some clarity, some understanding. Please don't jump straight into the possibility of reconciliation. I'm remembering the need for clarity. Yeah, for clarity. I think that you should talk. It would be a great idea for you both to at least face each other. And then from there, you can feel into the possibility of reconciliation. But please be careful of that. I will pull cards once I'm done with this idea. Sorry, once I'm done with this reading. So, yes. It was difficult, and I can imagine that. And it feels like yeah. Let me process this. So I'm feeling into the difficulty, how hard it must have been. And I don't want to invalidate that fact because it was hard. And I'm sure that even processing the fact that you may have to wait longer is hard in itself. But and I understand both. Yeah. I understand. Okay. So then you've planted that seed. I suggest that is going to happen regardless because you've decided, and I can feel how deeply you want it to happen. So it's going to happen no matter what the cards say, no matter what anyone has to say. You will move on with your career and you will sell your property. That is granted. It will happen. It's just, again, it feels like there's an urgency with which you want this to happen. And yeah, we've already discussed the fact that it will happen in divine time. I'm again suggesting that you wait until the change of seasons, until August. And as you're manifesting it, try not to let any possible revisitings of the past, try not to let anything weigh you down. Keep focused on the fact that what you want is going to happen absolutely 100%. There may be things that happen that may leave you thinking or feeling like, oh, this may never happen, but it will happen. You will move on with your career and you will sell your property. It will all happen. Exactly. It will. But it feels like because of how huge these changes will be, that they have to happen in divine time. So there's going to be a level of surrender that you're going to have to learn how to do. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for asking that question. You've taught me a lot and reminded me of my own personal lessons. You and your ex, Carrie and your ex, reconciliation. What is the energy between Carrie and the ex? Carrie, I hope you're still in the room. I'm about to pull cards for you and your ex. So this is giving, yes, this card is a card of promotion, of like angelic help. But immediately the vibe I received is of like a leveling up, like an ascension. So it feels like there is possibility for reconciliation, but I just want to pull more to expand on this energy. Thank you, Carrie. I appreciate that. That is very interesting. Okay, you received the star in reverse as well. I'd like to pull one more card to understand and clarify the star in reverse. And then you receive the sun. So you receive more positive than negative cards. So it is giving reconciliation. However, this star in reverse is like an interesting, like, cog in this machine of your guys' relationship. I just want to revisit the star in reverse. Okay, so the sentence that is associated with this card in reverse says a need for a new perspective. And hold on, I just want to tap into the Six of Discs as well. All right, it feels like it's very much up to you guys. I think that when you do talk, it will be very important for you to go in prepared to bump heads a bit at first, where or not at first, I don't know. Eventually, or not eventually, somewhere in that discussion, there may feel to be a bumping of heads between you two. Someone may be too stubborn in having, like, someone may be too stubborn about hope or trust or something about the longevity of your guys' connection. But this is a really incredible card to receive for any relationship, for any reading, actually. This is a very positive card to receive. So, and with this, paired with this, honestly, I am receiving that there's a greater, like, I pulled cards a day ago, I think it was, for the possibility of you two reconciling. Then when I pulled cards, it was iffy. It was like, I don't know. This is, it's like the level, the possibility of reconciliation has increased. But there's still something. Like, I don't know if maybe, because you mentioned that your ex is indecisive, maybe there's still some indecision in his mind. He might even be calling to talk to you. He's talking to you about, he's messaging you about the desire to talk without the noise, but it feels like the noise is also in his head. But yeah, I think that if you can go into that chat prepared to be free, Try to do a lot of like inner child work or inner child meditation, inner child facing before then, so you can be very connected with your own inner child and your own truth, and you can be prepared to be that way. Be free. Be very, very free and as hopeful as possible in yourself more than anything. There does seem to be hope. Yeah, there does seem to be hope for your guys' connection. But it feels almost like you'll have to do a bit of convincing, or he'll have to convince. Like, it feels like there's going to need to be a bit of convincing about the fact that it's possible between you two, that there is hope, that there's something magical that can happen. It's just a need for a new perspective, though. A need for a new perspective. It feels like you two are going to get together and then you talk, and then something, it's going to take one sentence that's going to like flip a switch in someone's mind, and then suddenly, wow. Suddenly. This card also speaks of angelic help. Of like some coincidental occurrence that happens that will help steer you to your correct path. While I was shuffling, I also received the Two of Cups. And you actually, I believe that I pulled the Three of Rods for you last time. So it's interesting that it's coming out again. Yeah, I can imagine that you are tired. So I've actually been pulling under the bottom of the deck, and this card speaks of the Six of Swords. It speaks of what as you sent the message, the comment, it speaks of this, of exhaustion. Maybe, hold on. Honestly, though, I'm still feeling into a sense of confusion here. It's why I'm trying not to go too forcefully into the yes, there will be reconciliation, or no, there won't. It feels like the energy of reconciliation is sitting like this, and sometimes it gets big and it gets small, and it gets big again and it gets small again, and it's like, I'm gonna pull out one more final card because, yeah, I can feel how tired you are. The moon tried to fall out, but I caught it, so we have a new moon coming up. Not a new moon, a full moon coming up on the 11th of July. Feels like that date will be important for you. Just be aware of that. Okay, the moon came out again. So the 11th of July. Or the week of, which is next week, right? Right? Yes, it is. So next week, the 11th of July, very important date. Mark it and be aware of what may happen. And then you receive the Three of Discs in reverse. Maybe if you can suggest that whenever you guys meet up happen around or after the full moon, after the 11th, but I don't know if you're keen to wait that long. That's a suggestion. I'm going to read the Three of Discs in reverse. I ask that this be the final energy so that we just get a final read. Of course, okay. So the keywords are resentment, frustration, constant dissatisfaction with life, a tendency to concentrate on the miniature of life, the minute of life, without ever looking at the bigger picture, boredom, bureaucracy, and possible legal difficulties. So, okay, now that I look at the spread again, Carrie, it feels like this has more to do with you. The sun and the moon is actually interesting. I've actually never done a reading where both of them are together like this. But anyway, it feels like these all have to do with you as a person and not so much your relationship. So that I wish I could give you the exact medicine on how it is that you can focus on yourself, because I'm also receiving that that's what's most important here. That regardless of what happens, whether or not you two reconcile, you need to be more yourself. And it feels like maybe the reason why you're so hyper focused on the possibility of you and this ex reconciling, the reason why you're even so exhausted by it is because you're not focused enough on what it is that you're actually meant to be doing. Or you're not focused enough on your own thing. It feels like you need to keep yourself busy enough so that you can just stop prioritizing him in your head. Because he doesn't deserve all the space. And it feels like you yourself, you have other things to do. You have a whole life to live and enjoy. But it's like you can't enjoy it because this ex is like hovering around you. But yeah, this card really insisted on falling out for you. So I'm actually going to read the interpretation of this. It says, break out of the dark forces of the collective unconsciousness, using the unconscious to transform old terrors into creative work. And creative work is coming up again. Carrie, if you're somebody who, like, these cards, this is a second day where these cards keep trying to tell you to do something creative, like make something, write something, create, dance, sing, something. Ability to loosen psychic control, enabling a connection with enchantment and the realms of the fantastic. You are like it feels like you are more spiritual of a person than you give yourself credit for in your life, and you need to start making that more important. I think also this card, yeah, no, I've touched on it already. It's like you're not, it's like, yeah. Ooh. I just went through a really weird, strange stomach pain, like a movement through my body. And I'm taking that to mean that if you're somebody who is like, if you're aware of somatic work, womb massages, then I suggest you do something like that. Like there may be something that needs to move more in your energy, in your body. Yeah. I'm receiving so much, Carrie, that you need to be more creative. You need to start creating art, doing something. It feels like there's something about that calling that you're not answering loud enough. And it's odd because, again, it has nothing to do with you and your ex. But yeah, again, I think part of the reason why you are so focused on him is because you're not focused enough on your own self. Yeah. But I do think that you should meet up with him. So that you can clear your energy, so that you can face the energy between you two and just let. So I think something that the general modern society doesn't give a lot of credit for is that when you're in a relationship with someone, that you're so welcome, Carrie, and thank you. When you're in a relationship with someone, you and that person, you guys create a third energy. It's almost like creating a child, but like a spirit, a spiritual entity, a being. And so I think that when you two do get a chance to meet up, which again, I think should happen, I think it'll be healthy for you guys, for you especially, to clear your energy out. That third thing between you two, that third energy, that comes alive when you two come together, it will speak for you and let you both know in the spot whether or not you're meant to be together. And again, like I'm saying, I do think that you are a lot more spiritual and intuitive than you give yourself credit for. And you should be listening in on your intuition a lot more as like practice. Yeah. And that is the end of the playlist. So that is the end of the reading. I'm going to close it off here. Thank you to you both for being present. To Synthesized Souls and Carrie, I figure I should give an individual shout out since it was really just you two. Thank you for allowing me to explore your energy and read for you. Yeah, I really hope that everything works out regarding what you asked me about. And, well, it will, actually. It's definitely going to work out. Please also remember, I stress again that this is a very, very important month. This month especially has been anticipated for a very, very, very long time. So if there's anything you're uncertain about or that you feel really frustrated by or exhausted by, please allow this month to play out for you. You will get all of the answers you want, everything. You just need to keep your desires in mind. You will get everything you want. It is part of the deal. The universe has to give you everything you ask for. That's how it works here. It's just a matter of the in-between that needs to be worked through. So I hope you can be patient as the in-between plays itself out. Yeah, you're welcome and thank you. Thank you so much.